Hello, I'm here with the birthday boy himself, Sean O'Brien. Good to see you, Sean. And none other than the World Player of the Year, Gloucester Hartbury and England's Zoe Aldcroft. How good does that sound? World Player of the Year.
Yeah, it's pretty cool, to be honest with you. Yeah, it is. I've heard it for a few months now, but it's still getting used to it, really.
Oh, well, first and foremost, congratulations from us. Yeah. Fully deserved and an unbelievable achievement. Just talk us through your year. I mean, how great was it really to get that accolade? But the whole year must have been amazing.
Yeah, it's been amazing. I think it's been quite a big year. We were supposed to have the World Cup, and then it got postponed to this year. So just keeping the concentration levels, that sort of thing. And then we had our autumns announced, and obviously we were playing New Zealand twice in a row, and then Canada and USA. So obviously, we knew it was going to be a big season. But yeah, it's been amazing to obviously play those games and then get announced for the World Player after those games. Yeah, it was amazing.
And you brought the trophy along for us, which is fantastic. It's the closest, and said I'll be getting my hands on that. But where do you keep it at home? Is there somewhere safe? Without giving too many secrets away.
No, it's thrown in the room. I can see how much dirt is on it.
It's got a few fingerprints on it.
Tell us the truth.
It's just kept on the mantelpiece. But yeah, I feel like everyone touches it when they come round. So it's just gathered in fingerprints.
Yeah, it's the best way.
At least it's not broken or dented
That's
yet.
True. That's
what usually happens. Trophies and
yeah,
and the match awards. Have you ever got one?
Yeah, I have. They're always trashed at the end of the game. So it gets to change rooms, get lobbed around or something. But, yeah.
When I actually got given the award, they were like, "Oh, make sure you keep it safe or whatever." So, and it was just before training. I took it out onto the training pitch. I was driving home later that evening. I was like, "Oh my God, I've left the trophy on the pitch." I literally had to ring my coach to go down to the pitch to grab it. Yeah.
But anyways, birthday boy, how old are you? Honestly,
what age?
You don't want me to guess.
35.
Is that true?
That's true.
Okay. And you said you didn't want to bring it up and everything. You wanted to keep it quiet. You don't want to very low key. But you put up 102 Instagram posts about it today.
I did.
So not that low key, is it?
I put up a few for my family.
Not all your
London
family.
Irish. That was it, really.
Okay. And did you do anything at the weekend?
We actually had a team social on Saturday evening, which was good fun.
Prepping for Sarries, taking it seriously.
Look.
Shawnee.
Dressed as the Joker. We're in groups of 6, and our team was Batman, so bit of crack, so it was good fun.
Can I just ask one thing? Yeah. Whose house is that?
That's mine.
Because the state of that kitchen, what is going on, mate?
There's a lot going on there at the minute.
I'm about to say, there's clutter and there's just
that's
crap everywhere.
A very small kitchen table now that is behind me. So yeah. But we had good fun. We had great crack for a few hours.
Well, it's been an unbelievable weekend of Six Nations Rugby. Yeah. And those who missed it last week, we had a musical rendition made for us. And we've got another one this week from Ollie Hume. So take it away, Ollie.
Scotland, Wales and Cardiff, where both teams knew the stakes were high. Wee Darcy Graham put his dancing shoes on to score himself a hell of a try. But Dan Bigger, with his knee hanging on by a thread, kicked a drop goal to put the poor old Scotties to bed. Night time in Paris, where Ireland put Labour to the test. The French troops did not surrender, despite what history might suggest. Ireland's favourite Aussie winger scored the try of the day, but they were conquered by the flawless boot of Jaminet. In Rome on Sunday, the Azzurri had a tough afternoon. English fans will think they're back now, you can hear them all changing their tune. Marcus Smith with the big old floppy boy band hairdo brought the swagger and the skill that left the Romans feeling blue. Week 2.
Not bad.
Chapeau to Ollie there. Yeah. I think that's just incredible. He's done that in a couple of days' work, probably a few hours actually, because he's got a full-time job. But amazing,
hopefully
really.
Not a few days. You'd expect it to be probably.
We'll give you a whole week. See if you can do better, shall we?
I'd actually be on for that challenge.
Okay, well, there's a challenge. We've heard it here. Zoe, you've heard that. Yeah. We'll make sure
as
we send you a
join
next
me.
Week.
No, that wasn't the deal. You've got a week because I said it was great and you thought he should do better.
I thought it was very good too.
You're backtracking
I like
now.
The tune.
Well, next week we expect something from you.
Okay, great.
Okay? And Ollie will be back in week 3 as well. So, what did you think, Zoe? You like it?
Yeah, I liked that. Yeah, I'd like to see you do better.
Yeah. Well, moving on.
Pressure.
Plenty to talk about in the Six Nations. Scotland versus Wales to start with, or Wales versus Scotland. Who impressed you most, Shawnee, in that game?
I thought there was a few standout performers for Wales. I thought Liam Williams was brilliant. I thought Bigger was good. I thought Wyn Jones was excellent. I think he was really, really up for the game. Basham, again, he's coming into his own. He's going to be a serious player, I think. They had a few big performances, but on the flip side of that, Scotland were very poor, I thought.
Yeah, I mean, I personally thought it was a massive opportunity for Scotland they missed, especially in that early, I think 20 minutes or so. There seemed to be, the Welsh defence were a bit all over the place. There was gaps everywhere, and I just felt like Scotland missed that opportunity. They could have really got on the front foot early, and their kicking game was better than Wales, but Wales just hung in there, and then they just beat them up a bit. I felt the Welsh, they wanted it a bit more. They stuck in there. Their forwards really carried hard. They got on the front foot. It wasn't perfect by all means, but they just seemed to have a bit more energy, a bit more fight than the Scottish, to be honest. And I think they gave 13 penalties away, Scotland. I think that they'll be ruining that missed opportunity.
I think you're spot on, because they haven't backed up a big performance with another big performance in years. And I don't know what the messages were during the week. Obviously, we're only it's all hearsay now, and we'll be guessing, but surely they would have talked about this, about backing up a performance. And after 3.5 minutes into the game, I was like, just keep playing here. Scotland had Wales all over the place, and Wales were chasing shadows around the place. But then they kind of went off script a little bit, and then Wales are so good at staying in the fight, getting a turnover when there's a bit of ascendancy, and they're dogged. And as you say, the difference on the weekend for me anyway was that Wales wanted it more than Scotland. And I don't know what Scotland have to do to get themselves to that place where they're actually consistent in their performances, because it's chalk and cheese from week to week at the minute with Scotland. And while they've class, they are class when they get it right. They weren't where they needed to be at the weekend against a Wales side who are desperate and at home.
The Principality Stadium was like rocking, the noise. Wales were up for it, as we said. Where have you played that you found that atmosphere, perhaps not intimidating, but so vocal that you're like, well, blimey, this hits me. Anywhere in particular in any of the games for yourself?
A couple of years ago, we played in Clermont in France at that stadium, and it was amazing. I think it was one of the biggest crowds I've actually played in front of. But they had a massive brass band and stuff like that, and that was actually quite intimidating. But the more the game went on, the more it was actually quite good for us, and really it was a really good atmosphere.
Because you would have played there as well.
Yeah,
it's unbelievable.
I played there a few times. It's funny because when you do get there and you hear this the atmosphere before the game and stuff, it does kind of get you're going, oh, this place is going to be rocking. The one thing you need to do in a stadium like that is silence the crowd initially, and then they actually typical French nearly end up coming with you at some point.
That's exactly what happened.
Yeah, and that's when the atmosphere gets class for you then as a player, and for the team. Very, very tough place to play in though, especially with that crowd and brass band, and they're banging all those things off the chairs and everything. It's class.
Especially that era when they were flying. I think 2005 to 2015, 16. I think it was maybe even 18. They're just unbelievable. It's like a stadium, and for me, Stade Marcel Michelin is it's vertical, and it starts to shake a bit, and they start to get a rumble on, and you think, blimey, they're not just coming into our 22. The whole crowd's about to storm, and it's actually quite an amazing feeling, though, as you said. If you can stand up to that and then fight fire with fire, it's brilliant. And that's why we play rugby. But I think the Welsh, it's like that for them. Whether they're playing badly or suffering, when it comes to it, the crowd are always behind them, and that did help them a lot in the game. Do you think? Yeah,
no, 100%. I think it was one of my favourite places to play. It was Millennium Stadium, regardless of how you were going in the game. Just the atmosphere is electric. And that's why I was kind of thinking during the week. I was like, what has Scotland said? How had they prepared for this game, knowing what they're going into? Because as an international, you know exactly what you're going into there. It's going to be a war. And just at the end of the game as well, you could see what it meant to them. They know that they're not. Wales probably know that they haven't been playing the best rugby, but one result like that could change Wales' whole dynamic, because they're confidence players. And when their tails are up, they're very hard to stop. So I think you'll see a different Wales side now for the rest of the tournament.
Moving on to the Irish-French game over in France. What a contest, first and foremost. Shawnee, obviously, as an Irish supporter, fan, it was disappointing, but how impressed were you with the game?
Yeah, I was very impressed with the French side. I think Ireland obviously started a little bit slowly, I thought. they would have had done a lot of homework on the French side, and just getting done for that first try, the way they conceded, it was a soft enough score. Just didn't fold quick enough, took the edge and back inside to our main man Dupont, who was incredible all weekend in that game. He was phenomenal actually at times. But Ireland, it's a very hard place to go to in the first place, Stade de France, and get a result. But to go behind like Ireland did and come back into the game, I thought was a testament to the way they're trying to play the game. But the most impressive thing I thought was the French power game. They were running around the corner and running at the Irish defence like crazy people. And they're so big, they're able to move, they're mobile, and they were breaking up the breakdown. So if there was an Irishman anywhere near the breakdown, he got hit. And that's what I thought. I think that's where Ireland suffered in that last part of the game, where they were just defending for a lot of time during the game, but also getting beat up a little bit. The French are big men, and they came with wave after wave.
And so you've played against French teams before. When they get a roll on their forwards, particularly, they're big men, big women. They get over the gain line. It's very hard to stop them when they get that momentum.
Yeah, definitely. Like I think the same with the men and the women. Like if you don't stop them at the source, basically they're going to make the gain line. And I think their dominance in like set piece as well. I think that is like a big part of their game.
I will say on the French, two things that impressed me. I think the trust they had in their bench. And to bring on Goode, to come on for Dupont, everyone was like, blimey, they're taking Dupont off. But he did a really good job in that sense, brought energy, control, did a great job there. And I thought Aldred at 8 playing the whole game was brilliant. His engine, decision making, carries, breakdown work was phenomenal. And then moving on to the England game, Zoe, who impressed you in that game?
I think Marcus Smith, as ever, he was great in that game. Had loads of flair as usual. It was putting the boys into spaces. I think like as soon as he got that try early on, I knew he was going to be player of the match. I think Max Malins, he was really good. He was coming off his wing a lot of the time. So yeah, he was really impressive too. Alex Donbrant at number 8. Great ball carrying as ever, always. I think it's a very close contest between him and Sam Simmons. To start at number 8, they're both very impressive. But yeah, Alex Donbrant was very good also.
I really liked him at the weekend. I thought he brought just what you want from a number 8, kind of a little bit of hard yards in close. Similar players, to be fair, Simmons, but I thought just he was a little bit more physical and tight, I think, this week.
Would you start him ahead of Simmons?
I probably would now at the minute, the way England are right now. When England developed this running game with like Smith and Marchant and all these boys, Malins coming on the ball, then you want the likes of Simmons out in those wide channels, using his feet, using his pace. But Donbrant just at the minute of the weekend, he just got them over the gain line a little bit more.
He's certainly someone you can bring on as well, Simmons. Like you go Donbrant early, he just smash him in, get some offloads maybe, and then Simmons comes on. His athleticism, his pace, he's dangerous.
Yeah. And he's always going to bring impact into a game. So
yeah,
exactly. Yeah, he's going to be hard managed when people are getting tired. So that's a really good point, actually.
Yeah.
Because you'd hate to see him in the last 10, 15 minutes of a game when you're starting to truck a little bit. And next minute you have this fellow who's great feet, who's incredibly fast and powerful. So I think that could be the way forward in this campaign, just for them to bring that energy, and as Eddie calls them, the finishers. He's certainly one that can finish off things.
Moving on to our predictions league, we've just done the second round, but we have got a shout out to our listener Stuart Beard, who correctly guessed Wales by 3 and France by 6 this weekend, so he is top of our predictions league. So we've got a rest week next week, and then we're looking forward to round 3. Shawnee, predictions: Scotland versus France. What are you going with?
France by 15.
I will go France by 10. Zoe, what do you think?
I'm going to go France by 9.
9, yeah.
Oh, nice.
I think Scotland, they're going to be up for it.
This one.
Moving on to England-Wales. Shawnee, in England, Twickenham.
I am going to... This is a big one now.
No, you're not.
I am.
No, you're not.
I am.
All right, call it then.
I'm going to say Wales by 3.
Just so you know, is this because you've had so much abuse from Wales online on your social media, having not picked a Welshman in the Six Nations team in the tournament?
Not at all. Just as I've said, I think their confidence will have grown after the weekend. They stay in the fight all the time. I don't think England are firing on all cylinders just yet. I don't think the Italian game is going to be give us a good gauge of where they are really.
I think England will win just at home. I think as much as the Welsh get up for the England game more than any other game, I still think it's at home to England. I think the forwards will get on top. I think Maro will be massive in that game. I think England by 10.
That's bold.
That is bold, but
10 is bold in those games.
yeah, I'm going to go England by 10.
All right.
Zoe.
I think it's going to be closer, but I do think England are going to win. I'm going to go England by 2.
By 2?
By 2,
Oh,
yeah. I
sorry.
think it'll be a last-minute
more
game.
of a real
Last-minute game.
prediction.
A real prediction. Well, we'll see. And then finally, Ireland versus Italy.
Ireland.
Go for the Italians, yeah?
Ireland by 40.
I will go with, I don't know if I'm too bold here, I'm going to go 45, Ireland. I hope the weather's
It's
all right.
5 points more. Though.
Well,
What are you
it's
on
still
about?
quite a lot of points in the international Six Nations
All right, okay.
fixture. 45, Ireland. Zoe?
Something similar. 43.
43.
Go in between.
Yeah, I
Good
like that.
idea. Good idea.
Fair enough. Moving on now, we're going to talk to you about your career, Zoe. Let's start. How did you start out in rugby?
So I basically started up in Scarborough when I was 8 years old. Just went down to the local rugby club with my brother, kind of like how all girls, I think, start their rugby career. But I was so sporty, and I was just swinging on the railings one day, and the coach was like, "Go on, you get involved." So yeah, and I've never really looked back.
And you were the only female in the team at Scarborough at that point, weren't you? What was that like? Was that tough, or did you just not think about it and just crack on?
Yeah, I kind of didn't really think about it, to be honest with you. I think all the boys were like quite actually, like the odd boys that were like a bit awkward about it, but like most of the boys were actually really accommodating to it, and they literally like loved having a girl in the team. And I never really thought too much about it, really. So
Were you a bit of a like?
all
Were
right.
you always into sport, all sports when you were younger?
yeah, all sports, like even like ballet, dancing,
Everything.
And you played netball as well, didn't you?
netball,
Yeah. What position were you in netball?
goal defence.
Oh, strong.
Oh, she was.
Yeah.
No one. Halt. You're not coming in here
Yeah.
today.
Not today.
Not today.
Yeah. And so, like, what would you say to any young girl starting out?
I'd just say like make sure you enjoy it. I think that's one of like the main sort of things, and also like we just said, like don't just play rugby, play all those different types of sports. So then like you can decide if you want to go down that route of rugby. But yeah, I'd definitely say just go to your local rugby club, to be honest, and just have a little go, because it's so much fun. It's probably not the norm for a girl to do that. So
Yeah, it's getting bigger and bigger.
I love the contact side of it. I think like it's so good. You can just literally go like full pelt into people. But like I also just love like the social side of it. That's really good. Like I think the girls are like a really good crack.
Who's the best crack in your team? Apart from yourself, obviously.
I'd say Kelly Smith.
Why?
At Gloucester, she's wild. She's absolutely wild.
Good wild.
Good wild.
Yeah, only good.
wild.
Yeah, good wild.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very funny.
And England, who leads the charge there?
Ooh.
Did you get a chance, like, if you play away in Italy or France, to have a night out afterwards, or is it?
Yeah, at the end of the tournament, we always have a night out. Our last, or after our autumn's international, we obviously it was like COVID time, so we had to stay in the hotel. But we have like a social group, and they organised a Harry Potter social, and it was actually insane. Like we had like candles hanging from the ceiling. But yeah, it was really good
Dress
crack.
up as Harry Potter
Dress up
characters?
as Harry Potter. We're all in different teams, so like all the houses.
Brilliant.
So yeah, it was really good. But yeah, in the England team, I'd say probably someone like Marley Packer or Sarah McKenna. They're very funny. Very funny.
Good to know.
Very funny.
And just talking about international rugby, 2016, you debut. Take it by storm. I mean, you score the winning try against France in that. You know, do you think it was easy at that point? You think, oh, I've completed rugby now. You know, it's too easy for me.
No, probably not. But my coach like came up to me after the game and he was like, "If you knew more about rugby, you probably wouldn't have scored that try." I was like, "Yeah, fair enough."
Cheers.
It was like my first cap. I was like running around like headless chicken. I was just wanted to be on the ball, and yeah, probably if I knew more, I'd probably be in a good position. But yeah.
Well, I think it's brilliant though that you come into it like that though, because sometimes players can overthink it. You're just out there doing your own thing that you've
Yeah.
done for years now at this stage. The next minute you're scoring a winning try. I think we've a young fella with us. Tom Pearson is his name. He was called into the England squad last week actually, but he's exactly the same. He's like, you kind of look at him and you go, Tom, do you know what you're doing here? And he goes, I just play. And like he's so good. Like so, I like the idea of just people that are like just going off the cuff and doing their own thing on the field. It's quite nice and refreshing too, isn't it? They're not like robots.
Well, so structured, eh? It's great that you had that attitude, and hopefully it hasn't changed at all. We hear you have a lucky charm as well. Do you want to tell us a bit more about that?
So I have a Johnny Wilkinson knitted doll, which my one of my best friends' gran gave to me when I was leaving to college at Hartbury down in Gloucester. And she was like, oh, check this, because we went to watch Johnny Wilkinson in Toulon when he played there. And like I was just like a massive fan like since then. It's actually quite embarrassing now. I hope he never finds out. But
have you met Johnny?
I met him when I went to Toulon that time.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Literally just say hello, got his autograph.
Staring at him in his eyes.
I think we have to get you down to Penny Hill when he's kicking down there and take your doll with you and just say, look, Johnny, I just want to get past this.
Properly embarrassed.
This has inspired me through my career. I just want to thank you for that. Yeah. We can put that together, can we? Yeah, everyone? Yeah.
Please no. But yeah, to be fair, it's just like a little like good luck charm now. I like kind of see it as like, I always think like things change over time. Like every match day is completely different. Like you have a different kit, like the environment's different, like the different team. And I think like I just have him as like a little constant, and it's just like relaxes me.
And Zoe, playing in that 2017 World Cup, what was that like for you and the memories you have from that?
Yeah, it was amazing. Like I didn't actually think I was going to go because there was a tour to New Zealand just before, and I didn't actually get selected to go there, which I was like absolutely gutted about. And then they had an injury there, so then when the squad got announced, I was going, so I was literally just absolutely buzzing and just like made the most of every moment being there really. But it was really cool to be out there.
And obviously disappointing at the end. What was that like in the changing room? And the whole team must have been so disappointed, obviously.
Yeah, it was really disappointing because I think every single person like believed we were actually going to win it. We'd like built our whole year up, obviously, as everyone does, but like there was just no other option than to win. And I think it was just like, oh my God, like I think it would hit a couple of the girls like pretty hard. Obviously, it was quite early in my career.
Do you think those learnings, or do you think those like games have taught you a lot over the past couple of seasons? Like, do you think as a group you have obviously got very, very strong now? So have you taken bits and pieces from those tournaments, do you reckon?
Yeah, definitely. I think a lot of what we have improved is our psychology side of things, and like pressure. Like we train, it's called like PPP, it's called like physical pressure practice, and we train under those real high pressure moments, because I think that was like a big thing in that 2017. We had like, we were fit enough, we had the game plan, but like the pressure just like got on top of us, which I think is a massive thing in those big tournaments. So that's one thing that we're really working on at the moment, is that the psychology side of things and being able to make those decisions under like high pressure.
And Zoe, who are those key leaders in the team for England?
So there's obviously Sarah Hunter. She's like an amazing leader. Like she's so calm, like keeps her head all the time. And then you've got like the people who are direct, like Abby Ward. She's an unbelievable leader. And then you've got Packy, who will like cheer us up, that sort of thing. Like she's really crucial to have on the pitch. Also.
And you were made captain against USA. How proud was that a day for you and your family?
Yeah, it was so proud. Honestly, I did not see it coming at all. I literally got a call from Mids and he was like, will you come down to the foyer? And I was literally out at the hotel at the time. So I was like, oh my God, I'm on my way back now. I thought I was going to get told off or whatever. But no, yeah, that's what we thought, to be captain. Yeah. So yeah, it was pretty cool.
And it's been an amazing year for you. It's an amazing year for the Roses, number one team. How important is it to continue to make the game grow and like help women's rugby grow as much as possible? Yeah,
definitely. That's like we had a meeting the other day and it was like we're kind of like the trailblazers for the future of women's rugby. So it's like amazing to see young girls now and the amount that the sport is growing over the last couple of years. It's been amazing to see, and hopefully it'll just keep growing and growing, and hopefully we can be the role models for those younger girls. Yeah,
the club scene, I think, over here, like, and I'm not comparing it to Ireland, but the club scene over here is so strong now, and obviously your success as an England group is incredible, what you've done now in the last 2 years. And like success will breed success. I think like it'll only get stronger now. There's more girls going to get into women's rugby. There's going to be more participating every year. There's a real good feel factor, I think, about women's rugby in over here in the UK at the minute. And if they can maintain that and keep, I suppose, improving like club setups, improve coaches, more players being brought into the game, it's only going to get stronger and stronger. And you're right. I think you are going to be, the template for those younger crew coming along behind you. But I think it's taken a long time to get where you are now, and other people need to catch up. The women's game, I've said it for years at home, does not get the credit it deserves. Over here, it's starting to get it now, but in other, let's say Ireland, Wales, Scotland, they need to follow this template that England have shown the way now, and get with the programme, or they're just going to be left behind, because the professional game over here now is so strong.
Yeah, I think that's a big one for us, like Red Roses as well. I think it's really important that other nations start investing into their women's teams, because like we can only get so far being professional, not against other professional teams. Like we need those guys to professionalise their teams, for us to keep on improving. The competition in England now is absolutely unreal. Like the likes of like Poppy Clear, like basically our whole squad is like really strong, and like the depth that we have as well, and even the youngsters coming through. So I think like each day or each training session when we're in camp, we try and push each other, and it's really important that we start getting like the off-field stuff correct now, which is probably something that we haven't had previously in the women's game. But now, as each person's getting better and better, then that's really important to get those off-field kind of stuff going.
Yeah. And the World Cup's been delayed a year, but it'll be happening in the autumn in New Zealand. You must be so excited for that. The way the team's playing, the way you're playing, you must want to play the tournament right now, pretty much.
Yeah, it's very exciting. I mean, it's a long road ahead, but it was so exciting.
Who do you think are going to be the teams to really like compete with you in that World Cup? France is definitely going to be up there. Like this Six Nations, I think it'll give us both like a key indicator to like see where both teams are at, really. But I think they are. It's literally like whenever we play each other, we're not sure like who's going to come out on top, and so I think France will be really key. I think now that New Zealand have got their full-time contracts, I think we'll see a big jump in their progression as well. So yeah, France and New Zealand, yeah,
those are the two.
They'd be my two as well, to be fair.
Yeah.
You look at them.
Anyways, it's Shawnee's favourite time of the week. It's time for Good Week, Bad Week. This week's Good Week goes to Gloucester Rugby. They did a special Valentine's Day naked calendar. There's also a few images of the lads working on their line out here. Now, I don't know if that's a very good filter. There's a hell of a tan on the guy nearest to us.
Is he covered Niall too, is he?
Yeah, I mean, Tom Seabrook, I've seen him before. He's definitely
shiny,
not that very shiny, and he's got a hell of a tan. He's either been on the sunbeds or, they're helping him out there. Moving on, we've got Fraser Balmain as well here. I mean, tooled up as that. Looks like he's doing an advert for Screwfix,
Lump
isn't it?
hammer.
The calendars have been produced and donated by Big Doug and are available to purchase online for $10.99. All proceeds go to Gloucester Rugby Foundation. Shawnee, who's going in the sin bin this week?
The sin bin this week is going to Mornay Stain for...
What's he done, Sean?
Well, he's had a massive high tackle. Kind of swing and arm high tackle after 11 minutes only. As you can see, this clip coming up here now.
I will say that's a bit unlike Mornay Stain. I mean, he must be 38 or so. I don't know what the Kenya Arm's done to him in box training camp, but he's passed the ball a long time before, and he's absolutely wellied him there.
And then Arm went on to score an unbelievable try later in the game.
Yeah, let's look at that. We actually recording Dan Carter for doing something similar, and this is pretty special, as we can see.
He's an incredible athlete, one of the South Africans' best players. It's a lovely bit of skill. It reminds me of when I was playing 15 actually for Tullow RFC years ago. Put the ball on the boot.
Can we wrap the show up now? Great work from the Kenya Arm there. I mean, off his left peg, running down a tightrope down the sideline is impressive. Well, that's all we've got time for. Zoe, thank you so much for joining us. It's been a pleasure, and we wish you all the best for the Six Nations. Shawnee, happy birthday. This has been the House of Rugby, brought to you by Joe.